Hello, I'm the Artistic Astronaut, and today we are going to be starting a new series called The Way Things Work. This series will be about taking apart different parts of an aircraft or spacecraft and learning about them. Today we'll be learning about the rocket engine. There are two types of main engines. One is a liquid fuel engine and the other is a solid fuel engine. We will start with a liquid fuel engine. The liquid fuel engine is the most safe and reliable type of engine as it can be shut on and off at various times. The liquid fuel engine consists of two different fuels, one being oxidizer and the other being fuel that actually burns. You need oxygen to burn fuel, and there is no oxygen in space. That is why we have oxidizer. Once the two fuels mix in a chamber called an engine, they will combust into flames. This reaction causes propulsion, and the propulsion launches the rocket upwards. When the rocket needs to move left, right, up, or down, the engine will move left, right, up, or down. This process is inverted. If the rocket needs to move left, the engine will move right, and if the rocket needs to move right, the engine will move left. The range at which an engine can turn is called a gimbal. The gimbal is controlled by hydraulics. The two different fuels are held in separate containers. These containers are called fuel reserves. Fuel reserves are large cylindrical tanks that go on top of the engine. When the rocket is moving, there is usually a lot of vibrations. The fuels move around. This is bad. So to fix this, we can add a separate tank with compressible gas. This gas will compress the fuels on the other end of the reserve. This gas can also control the pressure inside of the fuel reserve. The more gas compressed into the tank, the more pressure, and the less pressure. When all the pipes are connected, we now have a fully liquid fuel engine. Now let's talk about solid fuel engines. We usually do not use solid fuel engines for main stages, but we do use solid rocket boosters for separate stages. Solid rocket boosters are also known as SRBs. SRBs are usually used to get out of the atmosphere and then are discarded. SRBs use solid fuel rather than liquid fuel, as you could suspect. When SRBs are assembled, a gooey-like substance is poured into a giant booster. This goo will dry and will be very flammable. Once the SRB is assembled, it can be ignited. It is ignited from the bottom. As the fuel burns, it will burn from bottom to top. There is only one problem with SRBs, and that is they can't be shut off once they are ignited. That is why liquid fuel engines are safer. All you have to do for a liquid fuel engine is cut off the fuel source and it will stop burning. SRB boosters can also be gimbaled, but not as well. One of the most famous uses of SRBs are in the NASA shuttle program. The shuttle used two massive SRBs to get out of the atmosphere. There are many more different kinds of engines. Liquid fuel and solid fuel are just the most common. One engine is called an ion engine. The ion engine is a very efficient engine used for light craft. The ion engine charges electrons to get propulsion. There is also a monopropellant engine. This engine uses only compressed gas to make thrust. The gas is called monopropellant. A monopropellant is not a main engine. Monopropellant engines only give off very little thrust and are made for precise alignments. Monopropellant is also a key factor for RCS, but that's a whole nother video. I hope you enjoyed learning about engines today. Thank you for watching, and as always, please subscribe.